I don't know about you, but lately for me, it feels like I've just been caught in this like limbo state of just like bouncing back and forth between my old self, my new self, a happy self, a depressed self, negative, positive, just like up and down, back and forth, over and over again. And I guess that means, I'm close to letting it go, right? Or something. That's what they say. It's like, you're getting activated with all those old tendencies. And it means that somehow you're close to something new. It's like this cocoon stage or, metamorphosis, right? Incubation, whatever have you. I don't know though, Because I feel like I've been on this journey for a long time. And sometimes it feels like I'm just doing the same thing over and over and over again this whole time. But that can't be entirely true. I know there's been some progress, but life is just, it's interesting, You scroll through Instagram and you see people living these lives, and obviously it's just a highlight reel, and but I don't know, it just sometimes it just seems like people are just living such fuller lives, having these experiences that either you're not having or never had to begin with or whatever. And, there's a myriad of emotions that I feel when I see those things. You know, Sometimes it's like excitement depending on what I'm looking at. Sometimes, more often than not, it's kind of just like this apathy and irritation and anger and like this whole like get this away from me kind of a feeling. I don't know. Because it's like I know I can do stuff with my life, but at the same time, I feel almost trapped. And it's weird. I don't know, because I know that's not true. I know it's not true. But sometimes I just come back and I do my same things, and we're all out here living and getting by with this weird ass financial system that we have that is so insanely disproportionate when it comes to wealth distribution. And so not to say that money's the only way to get things done, but yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We all have these belief systems that we have to work these jobs in order to get the bills paid and do these things that we're not all that passionate about in order to get by in life. And then life just flies on by. And you're just sitting there, wondering whenever it is that you're going to do these things that you want to do with your life or something. And it's like funny because it's like, I don't know, there's things I want to do, but I don't even know what I want to do. You know what I mean? I used to imagine myself getting sort of kind of like successful with something like this, but that's not really happening right now, so that's all right. And I know that I should just be taking action on my passion for its own sake, just to do it, just because that's what I like doing, just because that's what I would do if no one else was around. So it's hard to tell, sometimes am I diminishing this passion because I think, I'm tying it to external circumstances of success is not happening or whatever, or is this even my passion at all? Is this even what I want to do, or am I just convincing myself that it's my passion because maybe it'll lead to some successful result where things are happening for me? Like I don't know. I don't know. I don't know nothing at all. I just know that I'm passionate about learning things like this and sharing it with others, and maybe, helping someone along the way with that. Helping someone get through their own anxiety or self worth or depression or anger or sadness. helping someone recognize who they truly are. Because, damn well, if I saw someone in real time expressing something like that, expressing like, oh, I'm not good enough, or, whatever the hell have you, anything like that, or being put down on by other people, I'd want to step in and just like help them out, get them to this point where it's like, you're worthy, right? Like, you got this, right? Like, you can do anything with your life that you want, right? And it's almost like, what's that one movie, I think, with like Will Smith or something? I think it's called like Hitch or something, where he's like some sort of he helps men get with women or whatever, but then it's like he can't really do it himself or something, right? It's like I feel like that. It's like I'm like good at wanting to help, but like applying that to yourself is just like a whole nother ball game, I guess. But that's just the way you define it, I suppose. Because like obviously right now I just picked myself up and I'm here making this video right now. So it's not that hard. But it seems like it, but like, wow. Yeah, I don't know if you ever feel this kind of confusion, but boy, do I. Just like this dichotomy, this black and white, back and forth, just both sides of this duality of the thinking, of the positivity and the negativity. And it's funny, yesterday I went and did some salsa classes last night, It was pretty fun. I discovered that I'm very much a newbie to that, obviously. But I did some messing up, and it uncovered yet more that feeling of like feeling awkward and feeling not good enough and feeling like I have to perform or else I'm somehow bad or unacceptable, It's like, oh no, I'm judging myself, and then just like I'm just a complete beginner. Obviously, I'm going to be not perfect. Sometimes I'm, a little bit more of a messing up than other people, but I know once I learn something, I really get it down. My learning curve is different, but it's still is something to, it's okay to be new at something. Yeah, I'm sitting there and I'm uncovering yet more of those old beliefs about how I need to like hide myself in order to feel comfort or safety, like, but it was nice to go out there and put myself out there. There was like literally barely anyone. There was like 3 other dudes. That was it. No women. And we're just out here like learning the basics of salsa dancing, just some little bit of footwork. And I'm excited to, do more of that because I enjoy dancing. I enjoy, singing along to songs that I like in that form of expression. So I'm excited to learn more about that type of stuff, and do that, express myself in that way. But, it's funny how it's really true that like when you follow your passion, you uncover those limiting beliefs that you need to let go of that are in your way. Because like that's what happened, like I said, And it's also like thinking about how, as the man in a salsa dance, you're supposed to be leading the woman, That thought alone just kind of low-key scares me because it's like, oh shit, like what am I supposed to do? I'm supposed to know what to do, and it's just like, well, right now I'm a beginner, so I don't know what to do, so it's not like I need to sit there and do that now. I don't need to feel that fear, but it's not just the fear of that, it's just like that old wound of needing to perform. And I feel like a lot of us have that, even if you weren't part of a Jehovah's Witness cult like I was. Just like, I don't know, maybe your parents demanding something of you, whatever your background is, just needing to be something, your society, your school, oh, you got to figure your life out right out of high school, you got to do this, you got to do that. You have to be something for us. You have to perform. You have to be good enough. You have to earn our acceptance. You have to go according to these rails that we set here for you. You can't just be. No. Some people get it. Some people are good at life or whatever the hell. So, maybe they don't understand, or maybe they do. I don't know. But yeah. Just uncovering those beliefs is important because, confronting them is part of the healing process, but it's like sometimes I feel like they just keep coming back up, and I feel like I'm kind of over it in a sense, even though I know that you're never really over it, even though I don't fully personally understand what that means exactly, but I know it's a thing, that you're never really over it, you're never really past it. I think it's just that maybe your relationship with it changes to the point where you do just feel, I don't know, confident or something like that. But yeah, life is life, and I'll tell you what. I know I have these huge like ambitions, and not in the sense of like specific things, just like, I don't know, I just want to experience life, and I know I'm like I think big, and I'm a deep thinker, and I have passion, and it's like I've spent so much time wasting that. So it's like, I don't know. Can you relate at all? Can you? I just know that like it's gotta happen, right? As long as I'm not worrying about missing opportunities or appointments that I set up for myself, and as long as I'm putting myself out there in the best way that I can, I'm not gonna miss it. And at the end of the day, I do believe that all of this is just a extremely fleeting, just like quick, like the blink of an eye, not even like the strike of lightning. That's how quick this human experience is. And ultimately compared to the wholeness of your spiritual being, your higher self, your spirit self, your soul, you know, you're just choosing to have this dream, this human experience. So there's nothing you can really miss out on ultimately, because when you reconnect back to who you really are, you realize that you have everything, and you always have had everything. So there's nothing to miss out on. Sure, there's experiences you could have had in this life, and you can go and you can do that for sure. But that's all just boils down to positive feeling, connection, love, reciprocity, wholeness, fulfillment, those kinds of feelings, of which all are yours. They're all yours. You can't just have that, because it is you. It's who you are. It's your birthright. You don't need a thing for it. You can just feel that way. You can. But yeah, this is just kind of more of a rambly video. I don't know, I'm feeling less inclined to just be speaking in a lecture kind of style, in a style where I'm just telling you these principles, and more lately just feeling the need to express where I am, where I've been, what I'm going through, more on a personal level, more on a, I'm here with you in this level. Not at all because I've figured it out. Definitely not. I'm not some guru on the mountain. I have not figured any of this out by any stretch of the imagination. No. I'm just here, and I know what I'm passionate about, and I know I'm passionate about learning this stuff and self-empowerment. So yeah, that's really all there is to it, because there's only really so much I can talk about when it comes to this crazy feeling of limbo, of just feeling annoyance, where it's just like I feel like I'm stuck, but I know that I'm not, but I know I have the ability, the wherewithal, the volition, but I feel frustrated that I'm just sitting here doing hardly anything with my free time, scrolling, playing a video game. Video games lately just don't pull me anymore. I used to play those for hours on end, and lately I'm just sitting there, and it's just like, well, I barely feel like doing this right now. And then it's like, well, now what? Now what? I don't feel like doing anything. So, all I can sit here and take that as is, instead of just being negative about it, is to take it as, well, I'm in a growth stage, and I'm in the in-between stage, a holding pattern, Like when you're in an airplane and you gotta wait for the other planes to land, so you're just kind of in a holding pattern, circling around, just waiting to land, You know, something like that. So, I mean, if this helped you, then that's great, because that's what my intention is, to help people to, you know, if you're going through something similar, then, you know, you can have the knowledge that, hey, we're all out here doing the same thing. So yeah, thanks for watching as always.